Hello everyone. So I am making the second video. Last week at exactly this time, I made the hardest video I have in my life. And I want to share with you what has happened to me was on the other side of making that video. So I want to share with you some amazing things. And I decided to name this little series, One Clear Voice, Telling the Whole Truth. And, usually people, they listen to the news. And, they get there, and usually in the past, they would sit around there and watch the TV and listen to what's happening in the news around the world, right? And so there is a lot of fake news out there. And then there's a lot of actual news. And then there's something called the Mockingbird operation. And so the mainstream media is what they do is they put out a piece of paper and it says a certain thing, what you should be afraid of, and then they send it to all of the people around the world. And I'm not going to talk about that, but they're all saying the same thing in different languages at different times, and you can actually see it. And so it's not really truth, it's propaganda. And so the concept that I wanted to share this week is telling the truth, the whole truth, and not leaving out important details, if it doesn't look like you think it should look. Anyway, so that was the beginning of that last week. And so I want to share with you what's happened since then, because it's been exactly a week. It's on Friday that I got up early in the morning, like 4, and I was like, I just knew I got to make a video. And it was a busy day. We were getting ready to go to Idaho Falls, and I just knew I had to get this thing out. And, and so it turned out the way it did. And I will say, after I put that video out, my mind was freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe my mind. And it was like, blah, 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 blah. And my spirit was soaring. And my mind was like, oh my gosh, they're going to think that I'm just trying to get, whatever it was saying. But I'm so, so, so glad that I did that. So I want to share what happened on the other side. So I want to share what the differences that occurred in me following that, and because it actually might be something that would be valuable to you. If anything I say is valuable to you, interesting, great. If it's not, and it's just, then don't listen. Just say, oh, she's not for me, because I don't care if you listen or not, because everybody has a different journey and a different purpose on earth. And anyway, so let's see, but my spirit was just soaring. So let me explain. So after that happened, I went to the fitness center. I love going to the water aerobics class, and I was noticing the differences in me. So we were there with all these women, and I noticed myself more joyful, more free, more open to say hi. And I'm pretty open anyway, but just more joyful and free, talking to new people more. And even after the class, which was with the women, I noticed a gentleman who's on the Granite School District board, and we kind of have, when you sit in the hot tub, all of we olders, in the morning, after classes or whatever, we sit and talk. And so there's a gentleman who's on the Granite School District board, and in the year past, he said, yeah, I saw you were with all those parents, right? Yeah, and they were unhappy, and he was saying, yeah, they were rude to us on the board. And I said, I think they were, in the past, I think they were angry. They didn't like the parents who came, weren't appreciative of the Granite School District not listening to their wishes. And so, I had this rapport with this person. And so this person was sitting there, he's up for re-election, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go over there. It's a perfect time, and I wanted to, and so I looked him in the eyes, and I said, hi, hey, do you mind if I share a few more things? He said, sure. And I shared some reasons why I was against the mask, And then I listened to him, and he said it was so hard being on the board. We had people that wanted masks, and people, the parents, and some that didn't. And he said, I was torn, and I was like, oh my gosh. I stepped into a space, and I could totally get where he was coming from. Totally. No judgment, period. Zero. None. And it would be hard, and I empathized with that, and I said, wow, that would be tough. And he knew I'm starting this new position, and I just said, and so the cool thing is I was able to be kind and listening to him too, and share my own point of view, and it was amazing. And I was like, that is cool. I have a lot more. I'm a lot more bold and yet nice. And I'm noticing I'm not so fearful. I have more peace. And so that was interesting. And so I got home, kind of remembering the next thing. So I just noticing that I could speak more clearly. And then I had to go to Smith's. We're getting ready to go to Idaho Falls. I didn't have to. I went to Smith's to get some stuff. And I noticed a lady that I've known for years. And I taught her child in preschool. And that was in my first house. And so her child is grown up and married. And so usually would say, hi, how are you? And not take the time to connect. And usually she would just say, hi, how are you? And so I actually stopped and said, hi, how are you doing? And I looked at her. Felt this love. She told me all about her kids, one of them that I had in preschool, and the challenges they had. I was like, wow, people go through a lot. Her husband is 40 and has cancer and is getting ready to pass. And I just listened. I thought, wow, that would be tough. And then half hour later, we left, and I'm like, wow, that was different with me. Usually I'm pretty, get stuff done, I was busy. So I noticed that. And so we're getting ready to go to Idaho Falls. My granddaughter comes over, and she's going to join us. So we're in the car with Jeff and my daughter Jessica and her kids and Savannah and all the girls and one man, Jeff up front. So Savannah comes over and we talk. And all of a sudden I'm relating to her in a different way. And I sit down and talk to her. I said, so how's this? And, and I tell her a little bit about my life, about how I was at her age. And then I ask her questions and listen to her. And it was a different exchange. It was different. And then we all get in the car and we're going to Idaho Falls. And I noticed that, so I'm with Taylor, Jesse, and Jeff are in the front. And I'm in the middle too with the granddaughter who's going, she might be 14. I don't know. And so, we talk a little bit and I ask questions and I look at her and smile. And the kids in the back are talking and there's a bunch of joy coming out. And we're kidding and laughing and being joyful, being silly. And they're teasing me. It's quite wonderful. A bunch of joy and excitement and amazement going on. And that was a new thing. It was new to me. And they were kind of surprised too. So over the weekend, Savannah asked me one time, she said, Grandma, how come you're so joyful, so happy, and so how come you're that way now? And I said, it was time. It was time. It had been underneath all the time, but I had to work through some stuff so it could come out, basically, So that was pretty cool. We had just awesome time. And so when we get there, it's later at night, and Jessica, our daughter Jessica, we were talking in the car too, and we were rolling on the floor. She was telling all these things that happened in her life. And I honestly was rolling on the floor. She was so funny, and I could get where she's coming from. And this joy and this fun is bubbling out everywhere. Um, and I could make jokes that I haven't done for a long time and just be funny and joyful with the kids. And so we get home later. Let me see. Is there anything more? I want to make sure because it's just so different. It was so fun. So we stayed up late. Jeff went to bed. I connected with Christy and got to talk with her a long time. And I wasn't tired. And I noticed my knees didn't hurt. You know, I have arthritis in my knees. And so we'd had a great time. And then so her play is happening that night. So the next morning, I'm busy and up early having fun and didn't even take, I have one thing I take. Well, there's one medication, or I used to, meloxicam. It's some pain medicine for my knees. And it's like, I forgot. I was like, oh, all day long I was up and moving, and that's not my normal. It's not my normal because I have arthritis in my knees. I was up moving all day, helping, visiting, laughing, connecting with the grandkids that were all together. And I noticed that I had more energy. And I noticed that my eyes, when I was hungry, my eyes would go to what I wanted. And I saw some bananas. Oh, that's what I want. And my eyes would go to what I wanted. It was pretty powerful. And I didn't care about any sweets. And the car over there, we had a whole bag of different things. And I took a little bit of Swedish fish I brought, and I had a couple. You know, it was a shift. What I'm explaining is a little bit of a shift. Let's see what the next thing is. I have so much stuff. And so during this time, I had what I call kind of a download. And what I got was, in any situation, I can ask, what can I do to serve? How can I serve? How can I help in this particular situation? And I get clarity and can move freely, and my voice is more clear. I'm having more fun. But if I was to ask myself, you know, how can I make myself appear more special than everybody else? My mind was like, oh, I couldn't focus, couldn't accomplish things. I was kind of like going in a circle. But that's a pretty big download too, right? Focus. What you step forward with. So that was pretty amazing. And just there was just such joy in the home. And Jessie was telling a story. I'm going to share it because it's pretty funny. It's actually how kind of people are. So she was, you know, she's been home with her kiddos, and her youngest is going to school full-time at first grade. And so she's thinking, what can I do? I want to earn more money and a constant income instead of just, you know, because she does photo shoots. She does a great job. But she's wanting some income that's coming in normally. And she says, those lunch ladies look like they're having fun. They're talking, they're laughing, they're having fun. She said, I'm going to go see if I can become a lunchroom lady. It can't be that hard. So she fills out an application, and she goes to, and then when she gets called in to go for an interview, the man asks, well, why do you want to work here? And she said, so I can have friends, and so I can laugh, and I can have company. And it was like, that guy was like, that, and I said, that's what you said? And she said, yeah, so I can have friends. And so I can talk to people. And she didn't get the job. And we're rolling on the floor, laughing, because she stepped right into being a dental hygienist. That's what she's supposed to do. She's good at that. But that was before. So you see the fun and the joy that was bubbling up, and how we could just laugh and have a lot of fun. And I was thinking about that all night, chuckling in my bed when I finally got to bed, about how hilarious to tell an interviewer that you want that job so you can have friends and so get someone to talk to. Anyway, so we get back. The weekend was awesome. So when we drive back home, we need to stop for some food. And again, I'm like, interesting. And so my eyes look at, we're at Wendy's, that's where she likes to stop, a hamburger, and my eyes looked at a chocolate milkshake, a chocolate shake there. All right, that's what it was. honor myself where I am. Oh, this shake was wonderful. It was so good. And took off the top of the hamburger, the Wendy's bun, and ate that, and was just happy as could be. Come home, drink lots of water, and anyway. So the next day, I'm starting with preschool. I'm going to be a preschool teacher again. After it's been like 15 years since the last time I had a class of my own, and before then, I taught as a lead teacher in a preschool class for 7 years. And I'm so excited for this new beginning. And so I got new clothes. On my way out, on my way out, I was like, what am I going to, on my way out, I had my new clothes on, and I was like, oh, I better take this meloxicam. I hadn't the whole weekend, and I'd been just fine. And I better go grab one of these pills on my way out because I have a whole day full. And it was like, I heard, who you going to trust, me or the pills or the pharmacy? No question, leave those pills there. I walked out. I even wore shoes. These shoes. I wear these shoes. I wasn't expecting to. I was like, no, I got to make sure. No, I was like, oh my gosh. And I could walk straight, walk more clearly. And in all fairness and in all honesty, probably 2 weeks ago, I got 2 cortisone shots, one in each knee. And I actually was having a bad headache for 2 days from all the stuff that was put in there. And it was like, what is wrong? It doesn't seem to be working. But so in all fairness, probably 2 weeks ago, but it didn't make a difference. It was like my calves were tight. I was like, I just had this shot. So we don't know for sure, but what I'm noticing now is all the classes that I'm in, I can walk freely. I'm not like limping around because, that's all you want to do when you're not a spring chicken, right? Is be limping around when you're going to start a new preschool class. Anyway, and so there, the teachers, the supervisors and the coaches were incredible. They were fun. They were amazing. And there was such joy coming out of me and such joy to be there. And they were laughing and having a great time. And I was more open. I was talking to the people around me. And at lunchtime, we visited. And I got to sit and look them in the eye and ask them questions about them. It was a whole different ballgame. So, and such joy, and there's peaks and valleys that we go through. And when we're in the valleys, it's kind of tough sometimes. When you're in the peaks, it's what we want more, right? And so just even driving to some of these classes that I'm going to at the Granite School District, I'll put on a song, For the Beauty of the Earth, that the Mormon Tab does. That is my absolute favorite right now. I love it, and I will listen to it all the way down, and all the way down. Read again, half an hour, 20 minutes, all the way down and all the way back. And while driving, just experiencing such joy for the nature and for being alive and for my life and for God and this beautiful world. Such joy. Anyway, there's just this whole bubbling, whole newness that has already been there. It's just being able to be expressed. And I'm wondering if it's because I took that courage to stand in my integrity and tell the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. You know that saying? Possibly. I don't know. But I'm sharing with you my experience, and I'll be doing that occasionally as things happen and as I grow. But I have found such joy in the people that are around me, and I express gratitude. Like we went to the play on Friday night. If you can imagine that it's a musical, The Wizard of Oz. If you can imagine, the top people are paid, everybody else isn't, and there's 120 people altogether. And the time that it took them, and the kids, and Christy, was delightful. And I just thoroughly enjoyed it. And in such fun and such joy, during the intermission, I looked over, and my grandson had a boyfriend, his own age, who came by and said hi to him. And I said to this young man, I said, isn't this the best thing ever? And I was just like in heaven, right? And he looks at me and he said, no, I don't really want to be here. And at first it was like, oh, I was trying to register. And Katie said my face was so funny. And then I realized, that's his truth. He don't really want to be to his play. Maybe his sister's in it or whatever. But, a 3-hour play with people dancing and singing and stuff like that. So he spoke his truth. And so that's what I want to share with you, is standing in your integrity and how valuable that was for me. And I don't know if any of those things would serve you. It might be valuable for you. I don't know. But anyway, this is me, Christine Case, signing off for One Clear Voice, telling the whole truth. Thanks for listening. Talk to you later. Bye.